my nerves. Moving on to a different question. We've often heard about antisocial behaviour and that it's on the rise within the buses. Is that true or not? Is it really just a bit of an urban myth? David?
I think from our point of view, certainly it varies from area to area. We operate in East Scotland, so we operate in parts of Fife, Perth, Kinross, Dundee, and I would say that the rise in antisocial behaviour, whether that be on bus or whether that be around bus stations, because we've got to remember the bus stations are typically open till late at night, so it will be a place for people to gather. But our view is generally it's been proportionate in terms of the increase in the number of passengers travelling has been proportionate to the increase in antisocial behaviour. In East Scotland, certainly, I can't obviously speak for everybody.
Do you see any link in the free bus travel for under-22s and a rise of antisocial?
I would say proportionately, in terms of the patronage going up, has seen a rise in antisocial behaviour to a similar level. But a lot of the antisocial behaviour we see isn't necessarily on bus. It can be in and around bus stations. It can be vandalism, all different kinds of things.
And obviously we had that fatality in Elgin.
Yeah.
Yep. Paul, anything to add?
Criminal and antisocial behaviour is on the rise in general. The under-22 scheme is a catalyst for more young people to be on and around bus, and so we have seen a rise in instances of criminal and antisocial behaviour on bus. We're looking to collect evidence on a number of collect data, I should say, in the number of instances, so we have some kind of baseline that we can measure the work we're doing with Transport Scotland to try and help mitigate that. But it's certainly a real thing.
Mm-hmm. Duncan, is there anything you can do about repeat offenders, or?
Yeah, I think we're working. I mean, as you'd expect, we're working with agencies. We're working with Transport Scotland. I think it's a challenge across society, yeah, we've got to work together to make sure the consequences are appropriate.
So, do you think we should be removing the entitlement to free bus travel if it's been abused?
My answer, yeah. What I would say to that is, if the offence is appropriate, yes, I think we should.
Mm-hmm. Sarah?
Yeah, it's important to remember it is a minority of young people, absolutely. It's an incredible scheme. It's enabled some, superb travel patterns now in our young people. But if you're the person involved in the incident on the bus, if you're the driver, if you're, the victim of something, if you're the, other passengers, some of the experiences and the stories are horrendous. And so you asked about repeat offenders. I think absolutely, and I think it's really heartening now to see the work that is being done to try and pull agencies together in order to get, to actually not have a scheme that could be abused really badly in some ways. As I say, it is a minority, but that shouldn't be. I don't think we should kind of underestimate the impact, though, even if it is still in a minority.
And are you having to take more steps to sort of protect drivers?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have gathered and track our incidents to the level of splitting them in terms of age, so that we do have proper evidence. We're working really closely with the union. I know that there's a plan that the unions have put together, and I think everything that's suggested within that plan makes absolute sense. It's a societal issue. It's not just buses, but I think actually coming together and the scheme being viewed as something that's a privilege, but it's not something that should then be abused. I think that's really important that we do that, all of us together.
Mm-hmm. Paul, you want to come back in?
Yes, I just wanted to give an overview of some of the work we're doing on this. It might be helpful. We do believe there should be a deterrent for repeat or serious offences, and that looks at hot-listing cars, so removing the right to travel. But we see that as very much an extreme endpoint. I think I echo what Sarah says about the scheme being fantastic and most people who use the scheme behaving perfectly. But alongside that establishment of a deterrent, we're also working with Transport Scotland and looking to develop some kind of form of education module to go into schools to help young people understand the impact of their actions or the behaviour that's expected at the bus stop and on bus. So we also chair a working group, and that working group actually meets again tomorrow with Transport Scotland, Police Scotland, Unite, ATCO and some other stakeholders to consider how to how to mitigate antisocial behaviour and to learn from other places. I think tomorrow we're learning about the example of transport safety officers, which are used in areas of England where it's people boarding the bus, clearly marked as safety officers who can look to diffuse incidents or take action when incidents take place. So it's we're doing a lot of work not to demonise young people in any way, but to help educate and then hopefully deal with the issue.
And Sarah mentioned capturing data. Do we have enough data on this issue? Duncan, David, do you capture?
We, as similar to what Sarah said, we've got a tracker, so every antisocial behaviour incident's assigned a reference number, and we follow that through with whether it's a school issue, whether it's take it up with the police, then we'll follow that through, provide CCTV evidence, all that kind of thing.
Duncan, you do the same?
Absolutely the same.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Camilla.
Just before I go to Mark, one of the suggestions was last week, I think, if I remember rightly, was that a lot of young people getting on the bus at the same time, and the behaviour of a group is more difficult to say is antisocial if they're all working together. Just lots of noise, lots of things going on, and therefore it was important to identify that. But you're clear in your mind that the antisocial behaviour has increased with the concessionary travel for young people. I'm seeing Sarah and Duncan nodding and David nodding. Okay, sorry, Mark, just to you.
Yeah, you're operating services in England as well as Scotland, and I think David as well. Yeah. Do you see any differences between England and Scotland in terms of antisocial behaviour?
I think I'd recognise that it's a societal issue. So, I've got 5, there's 6 business units in First, the other 5 are England and Wales, and right across the 6 we're seeing increases in antisocial behaviour. So, I think both apply.
But England doesn't have a concessionary travel scheme for under-22s?
No. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I can do some work and submit a response to you in writing. My point is, it's on the rise. What the rates are between ourselves and England, I'm not sure.
Right. But you can't say whether under-22s facilitates antisocial behaviour, because what you're saying is that in England it's the same problem.
No, other than, like what David said, where we've seen, growth in under-22 passengers, there's, so if there's more people on the buses, there might be more antisocial behaviour as a small proportion. Yeah. David?
Yes, I similar to Duncan, I don't have the figures to hand for our English colleagues, but I would also make the point that antisocial behaviour in and around buses has always been there. It's not a new thing.
Oh, it's always been there, right? Okay.
Yeah. There has always been. I've worked for Stagecoach for 17 years in Manchester for 6 of those, and I can assure you it was an issue there as much as it is up here.
Yeah, right. Thanks for that.
Thank you. I get the next question. I wasn't telling you all to hurry up so I could get my question in, but ever since I've been dealing with transport in the Parliament, we've heard of a mishmash of timetabling